So the crypto market never ceases to amaze me. Now Elon Musk is saying time to drop a really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not made this public. Have a nice day. And then now he's saying mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. And right when this was released, Bitcoin plummeted to $100,000. So everyone wants to know what is going to happen next. And is this a major trap and a liquidity flush out? And will Bitcoin go higher? Or will we continue to the downside and bleed out? Well, in this video, I have to share some powerful news with you guys. We have a bombshell from Jack Dorsey about Bitcoin and what will cause it to fail long term. On top of that, what's happening on the XRP, the US dollar price chart in light of this news, and my expectations moving forward that I talked about a few weeks ago that coincidentally enough are playing out right now with this news, with this major bearish divergence. So if you guys are holding crypto and you're wondering if you should sell, if you should buy, or if you should hold, then this is going to be one of the most important videos you watch all day long. So comment 777 if you're still feeling blessed, if you're still feeling bullish, and if you believe you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, I want you to confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So altcoins right now are down anywhere from 5 to 10% with this news. So regardless of this news, we're still going to do a giveaway for XRP. We're giving away $100 of XRP. If you guys want to be entered in to win, just go follow us on X or Twitter and like the pinned post, retweet it, comment XRP on it, and then subscribe to our daily video newsletter. As long as you're subscribed there, you'll be notified first, and you'll also get access to our free book called Altcoin Secrets, which I know you're going to love. So just put in your best email address, click the button, and you'll get instant access because we are constantly updating you guys on what's going on in the markets. And this is some of the biggest news that is going to make headlines everywhere. And so I'm going to get into the charts in a little bit, but Elon and Trump are just going at each other's neck right now. And as you guys know, Epstein is the guy who owns this private island right here where it's been massive controversy over child trafficking, and Trump and him, you know, they go back, they have pictures together, they've gone to parties together, and we don't really know the whole truth about this, but with Elon Musk saying that the truth will come out, he obviously has access to information that could Elon leak or somebody else leak to the public. Well, it's very clear that Trump is not happy with him, Elon's not happy with him, and Trump said the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and millions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. He was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. And then Elon responds by saying, in light of the president's statements about cancellation, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. And a lot of people are wondering is if this feud is staged because all the world's a stage. And the biggest question would be, for what reason? Well, could it be to get everyone to start reading into these bills to make it crash and do a bunch of little beautiful bills that will pass? I don't know about that, but share your thoughts in the comments below, because a lot of people are saying that it's staged. Because now that Elon is saying that Trump is in the Epstein files, will the Democrats be demanding that they get released? That could be a massive chess move. And this account right here is saying that it is staged, and here's proof. If this is real, Elon crossed the line and can never come back. He would have trashed his reputation and his legacy. He would have to kiss his Mars plans goodbye. He would have to kiss all of his plans goodbye. And it's interesting how he waited for the Dragon shutdown, the Epstein accusation, until after the markets have closed. And so with this sell-off in the market, this is flushing out a lot of leverage traders that were longing the market for Bitcoin. So maybe Bitcoin wicks below 100K according to Benjamin Cowan for a bit, then rebounds back to $103,000 to $104,000 for a few days. Well, tomorrow is the labor market report, CPIs next week, then the FOMC the week after. So there's plenty of catalysts for narrative shifts so people can blame the volatility on something. And right along cue with the global money supply pulling back for M2, Bitcoin is pulling back as well too. And so if this correlation is accurate for M2, well, we all know what comes next for Bitcoin. And if we look at the price chart right here, I made a video about this about 3 weeks ago, talking about a macro bearish divergence for Bitcoin to experience a much larger pullback. And we could be going through that right now with this pullback. With this drop, it's bringing Bitcoin to around 10%. If we look at the last bull run cycle on this pullback right here below the high, it was about 25% for Bitcoin. And if we look at the relative strength index, it's sitting at about 42, and the stochastic RSI here on the bottom of the screen, the K line and the D line are at 5 and 10, below 20. So we can see last bull run before the peak came in, along with Bitcoin stock flow rainbow indicator during light green, when the relative strength index was around 40, was roughly right here when the price crashed down to $44,000. Then we saw a short-term recovery in the price, and then a drop further to the downside to about $40,000 for that 20% dip. and a bullish divergence on the stochastic RSI to put in a higher low before the markets reverse back to the upside in Q4 of 2021. So right now on the right-hand side of the screen, with this pullback for Bitcoin, I do expect this to get bought up at some point. The real question is if we get rejected from this descending resistance or a lower low in Bitcoin's price chart before we start the reversal, or if we start the reversal from here. This is what I talked about in my previous video, where I did expect Bitcoin to pull back closer to $100,000, potentially back down to $98,000, which is where we were at during this consolidation phase for February 2025, and also right here before the breakout. That would be the best opportunity in my mind to be able to buy more crypto, because I'll be watching the relative strength index to finally reset closer down here to 30 or below 30. And then also what I would look for is some type of divergence on either the relative strength index or the stochastic RSI to be putting in a higher low, while the price chart could potentially be putting in a lower low. That would be a great entry point in my position, because that would be a massive bullish divergence. For example, on the left-hand side of the screen, that's what we saw right here for Bitcoin after that massive sell-off. We saw it get bought up for this recovery rally, and then a final lower low right here on the price chart. Whereas as you can see on the stochastic RSI, once we bottomed out down here on that recovery, we experienced a bullish cross, then a bearish cross, and then a higher low, which was a major reversal signal that momentum was shifting from bearish momentum in this downtrend right here for Bitcoin to bullish momentum to break the descending resistance. Whereas the relative strength index didn't see a divergence, but we saw the RSI bottom out here at about 34. And then the MACD experienced a bullish cross right here on this second bottom, which was a higher low before the reversal. So on the right-hand side of the screen, I would expect it to play out somewhat similar, depending on how low Bitcoin goes in the short term, for there to be a recovery rally back down to this descending resistance right here. Potentially a lower low, very well possible, like I mentioned in previous videos, to $98,000, causing the relative strength index to bounce up in the short term and then drop all the way down here closer to 30. The stochastic RSI to rally up in the short term and then experience either a higher low or an equal low to where it bottomed out right here on the 31st of May. If we see this bullish divergence take place on the stochastic RSI and the relative strength index is all the way down here at 30 or below 30, I'm going to be extremely bullish on a macro reversal for Bitcoin, along with the rest of the market. But I'm going to be even more bullish on altcoins like XRP and some other altcoins because of that rotation that takes place at the end of the bull run, which we're gearing up for at the end of this year. Listen to what Jack Dorsey said, his bombshell that he just dropped about why Bitcoin will fail.
So let's fast forward to the future, and Bitcoin has failed. How did it fail?
I think it fails through irrelevance. Like it fails to be relevant to people on a daily basis. If it just ends up being store value and nothing more, I don't think it gains relevance at all. Like I think it has to be payments for it to be relevant on the everyday. Otherwise, it's just something you kind of buy and forget and only use in emergency situations or when you want to get liquid again. So I think if it doesn't transition to payments and find that everyday use case, it just gets increasingly irrelevant. And that's failure to me.
Now, for those of you guys that don't know, Jack Dorsey is a co-founder of Twitter, and he's a developer of Square. He's also the founder of Blue Sky. His estimated net worth is around $3.8 billion. So this isn't just someone who is a social media influencer that has an opinion. He's very smart, and he's made massive power moves throughout his career. So if he's saying that's why Bitcoin will fail, and Bitcoin's main utility is store value because there's faster currencies out there like SUI or even Solana, specifically XRP, that's used for cross-border payments, then in the long term, that's where XRP wins. And it's undeniable, which is why XRP has held up incredibly well since December of 2024. And it's just been ranging sideways between resistance, which is $3.40, and support all the way down here at $1.60, but ultimately holding up above $2. So I talked about this in a previous video where the expectation for XRP, once it broke this descending resistance right here, was to rally all the way back up to this level right here at roughly $2.50 to potentially $3. As you can see, we made it all the way up to $2.66, and then reverse back to the downside to come here within this zone again to back test this range and allow the relative strength index to reset, the stochastic RSI to reset, and the MACD to reset as well too. And that's what's happening right now. So the relative strength index is at 32. The stochastic RSI for the K line, the B line is at 7 and in 2. So I still think there's further to the downside. We're going to be looking for divergences on the chart, and I'll be sharing those with you guys on this channel. So I do think there's a little lower to go for XRP. Maybe we experience a rally in the short term, but I do think we do have a little further to the downside before we see a reversal, and we're just going to watch that on the chart. But in terms of the macro, it depends on your guys' strategy. Should you buy? Should you sell? Should you hold right now? Well, I give no financial advice. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will tell you what I see on the charts. In terms of the macro, the smartest investors in the world accumulate when higher time frames are in oversold conditions. So we're on the 4-hour candles right now. If we go to the daily, we can see that on the stochastic RSI, the K line and the D line are at 27 and 31. So we're not quite down below 20. Relative strength index is at 37. And we are in a downtrend right now. So it's not terrible, but it just shows that there could be more price action to the downside, a little bit further of a sell-off. If we zoom out even more to the weekly, we can see at the bottom of the screen on the MACD, on the histogram, momentum has shifted from bearish to bullish, but with this sell-off, we see two larger red bars right here on the histogram. The MACD is still in a downtrend right now. We haven't experienced a bullish cross. Relative strength index is at 49, so we're in the middle of a range. And on the stochastic RSI, we're at 26 and 18 and just experienced a bearish cross. So I think this is a fake out on the stochastic RSI for us to come down a little bit further before we reverse to the upside. And as you guys can see in the price chart, we are in this downtrend right here for XRP. It looks like there's a massive amount of momentum in favor of the bears right now, and also this zone of support right here that it wicked off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 on this candle close is a very likely scenario for XRP before we break this descending resistance on the weekly and then eventually break out towards the end of this year. Now, if we don't do that, and this is the end of the bull market, which I don't think it is, but if it is, then you have to develop strategies during the bear market to be able to make money. Otherwise, you're going to be round tripping your bags. And our research team has developed those strategies through DeFi yields, airdrop alerts, and live calls teaching you technical analysis among everything else you need to know in crypto to be able to maximize your upside while minimizing your downside, so you can make money regardless of market conditions. For example,
our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1, 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now. Watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree, if that's a goal of yours. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.
Well, we go on, we go from the highest highs to the canyons fall. The great awakening's calling you.
My fellow Americans and time-traveling patriots, where we go one, we go all together. One nation, under God,